Hello and welcome to Tink's Tarot. Today we are doing a new moon energy read. Sorry about that. I hit the camera right as I was starting. And today is going to be all about your new moon energy and what you need to know. We are going to be doing, camera's being funny. So before we even start, we are going to be doing a reading involving a shadow, some chakra meditation, oracle of the mermaid, a love message, a self-healing message, and of course, some tarot work for you. Before I start, I do want to smoke cleanse the air. So I've already done a meditation and a cleanse of each of the cards, which I do between each of the readings. But just to clear the air a little and get us started, while I clean this up, I'm going to do my little disclaimers, which are the following. So this reading, let's see who it's going to be for. First off, picking out of my jar, this reading is going to be for Gemini today. So this is your Gemini new moon energy reading. And this is for guidance, insight into your new moon manifestations, what you might like to know going in, information the universe thinks would be helpful for you to create the best manifestations you possibly can. And I do shuffle while I read, so just FYI on that. If you don't like the shuffling while someone reads and talks, then this may not be the reading for you. I do also have children and dogs. Ooh, don't want to talk today. Come on, cards. So, if that sort of thing, or neighbors, or earlier today there was leaf blowers, if that sort of thing is not for you, then this reading may not work for you. Also, my readings are very much like the Serenity Prayer. Please take what you like and leave the rest. Not all of it is meant for every single person. We're already flying out, Gemini. And I leave that discretion up to you. I am the messenger of the messages. And that is my goal. So if the messages don't apply to you, that is okay. And today, I would like to invite the ancestors, the spirit, the guardian angels that would like to speak to me through these cards, to speak to me regarding the human collective of Gemini. If you would be so kind as to give me a message for Gemini's new moon energy. What do they need to hear? What do they need to know? I invite you to speak to me through the cards only today. Gemini, how are you doing with this? Oh, there we go. Okay. Mercury retrograde. How is it? How are you handling it? It seems like not that hard for Gemini this go around. What with it being in Pisces and all. The Mercury retrograde is kind of fluid right now. Kind of keeping everything. I'm trying to get some water while I talk to you. Just gonna do that. Excuse me 1 second. While we get some H2O going. Thank you. I am so sorry, but I'm doing lots of readings today. And the incense and the sage really. Plus, it's still winter here. Still cold. Oh, that was an awful lot of cards. Can I get a smaller, less than 12? Come on. A simple reading for Gemini will suffice. Please and thank you. There we go. Okay, well, we got 2 more. Let's see what we got. There we are. Okay. Having some trouble. Okay. I'm just going to mess with this camera, so hopefully it will move a little bit so that you can see better. Let's see. There we go. There's that. And can I please get a mermaid oracle for my Gemini? What is the message today? What is the oracle message for Gemini today? That you would have them here. I am going to pull all of the cards and then we will go a little bit further in depth for Gemini. It's not a full reading, so just be aware that this is a kind of a quick reading. Really just want to give you some information, give you some guidance, okay? So it's not it's not a full read. Still not getting any cards here. Let's see. Okay. I'm just gonna shuffle these one more time. See if we get some communication through this oracle deck. Can I get a message for my Gemini? Beautiful. It came up earlier. We love that. Can I get a self-healing card, please? This is the self-healing deck, and just a note that when I use this deck is actually designed to go with a particular book, and so I do read the actual page that goes with. You can take what you like from that reading. I do it at the very end, so if that's not really your thing, if you prefer something more intuitive than an actual buy the book situation, feel free to skip it. It's just an extra little bonus of guidance that I was moved to bring into this new moon. So we talked a little tiny bit about Mercury retrograde. Everybody's talking about Mercury retrograde. So just remember, there's 3 this year. There were 3 last year. So that's not excessive. And there it is. Thank you very much. Can I please get a love message for my Geminis? But this new moon going into Pisces, I hope you're looking forward to it. It's a fantastic energy. First off, we have a huge energy portal right now that is very, very powerful. Okay, so you need to know that February 20th through the 22nd is a huge portal of energy shift. You can find more information on that via Google if that suits your fancy. Thank you very much. I'm Gemini. I'm surprised I'm not getting more 2 sets of cards for my Geminis. I usually do, but today it's kind of simple, straightforward. Can I please have a chakra, a meditation, some guide for my Geminis who enjoy working with the chakras and the energy of the body? What would you have them focus on should they want to meditate before their new moon ritual or their new moon work? What does Gemini need to hear about their chakras? So we're talking about that energy portal. And what with Mars being a little bit weird. I know everybody's energy is a little bit weird right now with them, all of that, but Mars and Mercury. But this new moon being in Pisces, it is the end of the lunar cycle. Kind of a fantastic, very powerful, very magical time to be doing your new moon work, which I just want to reiterate for you, Gemini. But also remember, it's clean slate. New moon. Oh, wow. Chakra cards went everywhere. Don't mind me while I clean these up. Everywhere. And by everywhere, I mean the whole deck went flying. I didn't get a single card. So let's try that again. Can I get some energy work for my Geminis? I'm talking about a clean slate and the chakra energy went crazy. Just gonna try and do this closer to the table, I think. So let's do that. Can I get some chakra energy meditation work for my Geminis, please? I invite those who would speak to me. Thank you very much. Speak through the cards. And last but not least, can I get a spirit card? Ancestor spirit guides, those who come before me, my guardian angels. I invite you to speak to me regarding Gemini's shadow. What does Gemini need to know is happening behind the scenes? What do they need to work on? What shadow work? What can they not see? Help me with Gemini so they know what to see. Okay, well, that is 4 cards. So you know what? We're going to take it, Gemini, because sometimes you just need a little bit more information. And since the cards really want to talk to you today, we are going to do that. Okay. So let's see what we've got here. And I'm going to take a small sip of water again. And we're going to start over here with your tarot. Jump right in. So first thing that popped up, 9 of Wands, Gemini. 9 of Wands. And it was right side up. Okay. So just remember that when you're dealing with the 9 of Wands, you really, really just want to be aware that you're coming through a battle. Okay, he's got his bandage. You want to be aware that you're almost at your 10. Okay, 9 of Wands has you, at that final challenge. So this manifestation, you really want to take the time to recognize that you're on the right path and recognize that whatever feelings of exhaustion of waiting for that manifestation, just keep at it, because the changes and the struggles that you have along your path, you're moving in the right direction and it's making you stronger. You have your inner resources necessary. Your manifestation needs to come from a place of strength. Okay? Recognize that your success on this is not based on what others think and what others want to kind of share their opinions and break you down. Those struggles are real for you. And when you work on your new moon manifestation, you carry that with you and you need to recognize that you're on the right path. Okay? You have people in your court that will support you in this manifestation. Recognize that as you move forward. Okay? We are going to work with, next up, 7 of Cups. Now, the 7 of Cups was in reverse. Okay, so you need to recognize that. So this is what it looks like when it's regular. Okay, but when it's in reverse, it's not as bad as you would think. Okay, it just means that maybe you feel like you have a lot of choices. Maybe you're going into this manifestation like, oh, I don't even know where to start. I have so many things that I want to manifest, or I have no things that I want to manifest because I have so many choices in front of you. When this card comes up, just recognize that you are in alignment more than you think you are. Okay, it just means you have a lot of choices in front of you. And because you have this 9 of Wands here, I'm going to warn you not to make your manifestations based on what other people want. Okay, hear your own voice. The universe will have your back with your own voice at the options in front of you. Okay, just focus in, make your pick, or few picks, as it were. Start the manifestation work, and that is the energy that the universe wants you to decide. 2 of Swords, got to make those decisions, okay? So this did come up upright. I've had it in reverse a couple of times this go around, but, and there's your moon. Okay, it's not a new moon, but it's getting close. So just, right now you might be weighing a bunch of things. You might be weighing options with these 2 cards together. And with this choice, you might be feeling like you don't want to make the choice. You want to stay blind. You want to stay guarded and away, right? Facing away from the open water. But turn to that 7 of Cups, recognize the overwhelm, and just make some choices, because honestly, the information you're bringing, that struggle is real, and you will be heading towards your 10 of Swords. You will be heading towards exactly what you need to be heading towards. You just have to focus in, get rid of some of the extra choices, and that will really help you in this manifestation. Now, you do have the 4 of Swords in reverse. Okay, so a lot of times this is exhaustion, it's burnout. This guy just really wants to rest. He's stagnating. But given these other 3 cards, okay, so if you look here with these other 3 cards of choice and overwhelm and just your whole 9 of Wands here, This card could also be a form of, really deeply contemplating your decisions, really spending the time trying to make up your mind. Okay, so this Four of Swords, given the rest of these cards, I'm going to tell you that for your manifestation, this go around with this new moon, because it is such a this new moon is going to be incredibly powerful. And what you want to do is really take the time to properly consider your manifestations and then just focus in, because they're going to be amazing. Now, let's go into your mermaid here. Your mermaid message was a number 15. I do not read numerology in this particular reading, but in case you are interested, I give you the numbers so you can look it up yourself. Divination, prophecy, fate, destiny, and future fortune. Oh, there go the dogs. When this card comes up, the universe wants you to know that you're going to be getting messages. A lot of times it means that your dreams will be giving you messages. Sometimes they may seem elusive, or you may not be sure what you're looking at. Just you may not be in touch the way you're supposed to be. But it is right now, with this manifestation energy and this card coming out, they want you to know that your powers of divination are strong with this new moon energy. Okay. Now we're going to look at your meditation chakra cards. And you got two. The first one you got is a number 12, and that is relationships. Okay. That is a sacral chakra right there. That is getting in touch with the deep part of the sacral chakra and getting information on relationships, feeling connected, feeling that amazing, there's some sexual energy there, but also just that deep sacral, almost root balance with relationships. That's where you want to spend some time meditating, but also you got this one at the exact same time. So this is a crown chakra card, and it is a 29, spiritual awakening. And this card is all about concentrating and asking for spiritual awakening. Usually when you get this card, it means that you're on the path to that and to continue that path, because it's a growth card when it comes up. They want you to know that they are aware and they are assisting you in your work to that spiritual awakening. So just keep at it. And then we're going to move into your love cards. And your first love card is a number 48. And it is demonstrate love. Find out what is important to those you love and act on it. And what is important in this card is recognizing. So this is two little chipmunks or squirrels, and they're sharing nuts. And then these two humans are hugging, and this mom bird is giving food, and she's giving a hug to the horse. So overall, Gaia giving her love overall. What this card wants you to remember is that not everyone's method of love is the same. And so when you're looking at your manifestations and you're thinking about love, whether it's romantic love or personal love, that ask for guidance on how to demonstrate that. Ask for this spiritual awakening and this divination to move you forward to really understand what in your manifestation can help you to show love to the people around you that need it. This can also be a self-care card, okay? Before your manifestation, you may want to make sure that you are keeping yourself important and that you act on that you do some self-care. Okay, always important before manifesting, especially during powerful manifestations. You also got a number 17, which is have patience. Love is patient and kind always. And she's on the lotus, so you just want to remember with this card that it's open and bright, and there is no she's looking through the waters, okay? It's not always easy. There's the waterfalls coming down. It's not always easy. And she's just floating. If she tries to push it too hard, it's going to be a problem. So when you're doing this meditation, come at it from a place of the universe has love for you. The universe has the answers, but they're going to come slowly. Don't push it. Don't try to make things happen. That divination will come to you. This manifestation may be a kind of turtle manifestation that takes a little bit of time. But if you work on being more patient, which is what this card is all about. Sorry about the dogs, but the mail just got delivered. If you work on being patient and remember that you are human, then, your prayers, your manifestations, your strength in divination will just grow. It will be amazing. Also with relationships, like you have to remember to have patience with relationships. So there's that. And spiritual awakening always takes patience. So just try to remember that. I'm hearing a lot of patience. I'm just being bombarded with the word patience. So, okay, patience it is. We'll take a minute to take some water. Try and get my messages to move on a little bit. Last in this, we have your shadow work, which happens to be quite a lot. So first out came Ma'at, which is Egyptian. Hers is judgment. Now remember that she is Egyptian. Her job was to measure the human soul and judge it. And the Egyptians believed that the soul was in the heart. And she would measure the weight of the heart against a feather. And if you carried a lot of weight in your soul because of judging yourself, because of judging others, because of incorrect actions, you would fail. So again, and I heard self-love with this card. So again, with this new moon meditation, you want to be very careful to not judge yourself too harshly going into it. Recognize that you have the power of divination at your back. And even though these choices are hard, even though you're overwhelmed over here, or you may not be sure exactly what you want your manifestations to be, go with it. Don't judge it. Just get it out there. Do the thing. Next up was Penthesilea. It's Greek. It's Greek to me. I'm not sure. And hers is guilt. And yes, she was Greek. She's kind of the Wonder Woman of the goddesses. She has guilt because in battle, she killed her sister and she carried guilt along with her. If you look at that face. And when this card comes up in an energy reading like this, you want to be very careful. Your manifestations need to not have any guilt. These two cards showing up together along with Isis and Shanjay, actually all of these, is going to be a high self-awareness in this manifestation. You want to make sure that you are not isolating. You want to make sure that you are really coming from the heart with this manifestation. Shanjay is Chinese origin. Hers is obsession. And yes, I recognize that I may not be saying that correctly, but she wanted to be in the heavens. That was her goal. And she made it as far as the moon. If you look in the moon when it's full, you can sometimes see the rabbit. Some people see it, some don't. You can see the rabbits here. Okay. She was obsessed with that. And what ended up happening is she isolated herself. And this guilt from this goddess isolated her. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are not creating a manifestation that isolates you. You also need to know that if you are creating a manifestation around fertility, that this is a goddess that shows up when fertility is present, and patience will be needed for that. Also self-care. So just be aware of those things. And last but not least, you have Isis. Now, Isis may actually be one of the most easy to recognize Egyptian goddesses because she was kind of, she was worshipped and done all that stuff. But sorry, a dog tail against the wall is distracting me from what I was saying. So the thing is that hers is resurrection. One of the things that Isis was known for was not carrying resentment, moving forward. And be careful when this card comes up because you may be self-sacrificing yourself. You may have forgotten what you over here with that Nine of Wands, okay? Your Seven of Cups a little bit, but mostly that Nine of Wands. You may have forgotten who you want to be when this card comes up. Any guilt you have, which it seems like maybe a bit of guilt with these two here, and maybe the Judgment as well with these three put in. Any guilt that you have going into this manifestation, you need to hand it over. Work with Isis if you are interested in removing that. Okay. And she comes up, you need to be kind to yourself. You need to make sure that, especially if there's any fertility in your manifestations or any judgment issues, any self-love issues, if you are not feeling worthy going into this manifestation, or your manifestations have to do with body image or anything like that, just be aware. Your self-judgment needs to cease going in, and you need to hand over any guilt for that, okay, to Isis. Now, the last thing we're going to do for my Gemini today is we're going to look at your self-healing card. Oh, look at that. You got 23, patience. I didn't even notice that. That's crazy. So this is the card, and let me get this book that I'm going to read. It's here. This is the book, okay? Let me find 23 is patience. Okay, so I am actually just going to read this to you. So bear with as we make our way through what this card means for you. You must develop patience in all areas of your life. Patience does not mean that you give up and do nothing. On the contrary, you need to be aware of several aspects of the circumstance that you are facing. Patience requires you to stop pushing, rushing, and creating potentially explosive situations. Instead, it asks you to see the bigger picture and become aware of the ingredients that might be missing. If you are impatient with a particular person, instead give them space. With that being said, and some of this over here, I'm going to tell you that if your manifestation is in regards to love or another person, you really need to make sure that you are careful with it and looking for a relationship that is true and connected at a deep level. Just felt I needed to say that, so let's move on. Avoid jumping to conclusions and making up dramatic stories about a person or a situation without being aware of all the details. You have an opportunity to let go of judgment. Thank you, Ma'at, thank you. Always look for the truth of the situation, not what someone is saying or doing, but why. Patience can also be connected to a health condition you are recovering from, a new diet or an exercise program you have embarked on, or a new course of study you may have begun. Again, demonstrate love, especially self-love. Your action for this card is focus on one thing at a time. Say to yourself, I accept what is without judgment. I am willing to practice patience and presence. Breathe slowly and deeply while focusing on what is. Be aware of the air hitting your nostrils and lungs. Soften and relax and be the explorer of the present moment. Discover what is magical, beautiful, and serene in this moment. If you are feeling unwell or stressed, just allow yourself to explore these feelings with the awareness that they will pass. And again, that could be your Seven of Cups up here, not feeling well, feeling overwhelmed. That battle, that struggle of the Nine of Wands could be a real issue with that. So just be aware, Gemini. Take care of yourself with this new moon. And that is your new moon energy reading. Remember to look up.